men. Days are for sportsmen. Farther below Lake Ontario, takes in what Lake Erie can send her. The iron boats blow as the mariners on, with the gales of November, remember. In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors Cathedral. Welcome to those who have joined already. We'll wait for another minute or so to get a few more people to join, give everyone time to settle in. Like I said in the chat's open. Feeling some fall weather in Minnesota right now, and wanted to shout out the great Gordon Lightfoot on this song, Rock of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Hang tight. We'll start here in a minute or so. Just to confirm, everyone, can you see the screen as well? Just drop a note in the chat if you can, please.
Welcome, class. The theme of the book is the NFL on CBS Streams Live on there. How is this related to the NFL on CBS Streams?
Can everyone see my screen? If you want to just reply in the chat, just write yes or Y, that'd be great. Just want to make sure everyone can see and we're good to go. All right, thanks, Misty. Looks like everyone's ready. We can the chat and Q&A are open. Welcome to this very special GatherUp webinar. This webinar is an exciting feature launch. So we have SMS marketing campaigns that should be in the product. If you're not seeing it, let me know. But everybody should have access to this in a beta feature. So we're excited to launch this. Excuse me. We have been working on this for quite a while now, and the product and engineering, development, design teams have been hard at work. And from a marketing and sales and CS side, we're really excited to talk to customers about it and get this in your hands. So this is not going to be like the last few webinars of thought leadership or sharing stories of necessarily about use cases and things like that. This is strictly going to be about this feature, how you can use it, why we built it, and things like that. So if you have questions, drop them in the Q&A. And if you have any comments or questions, look like the chat is disabled. Hold on. Thought I had that set up. Okay. Should be good to go now on the chat. Sorry about that. All right, so without further ado, feature launch, SMS marketing campaigns. So today's agenda is going to be about closing this loyalty loop, this customer loyalty loop that we are proudly going to display for you. We'll talk about what campaigns is, or how to use it, the benefits of SMS marketing. And then I'll make sure to get into the product a little bit and show actually in the product what it is, how it works, and then hopefully answer your questions about it. If anybody has been using it and run into any issues, or if you're just curious about something around SMS marketing, we'll talk through that. So without further ado, I'm Steve Hartman. For those that haven't been here before, I've been with GatherUp for over 4 years now, just about 2 years in multi-location sales and franchise sales. And then the last couple in product marketing. And really, as a product marketing manager, I kind of sit at this intersection of product and CS and sales and marketing, which is why a lot of times I like to talk about these features, because I get to see it from start, feedback, customers are asking for something, all the way to features launch, go to market, and then collecting that feedback. So really excited to share this specific feature with you and everything that's come with it. There's a lot to unpack. GatherUp, again, for those that are new, we are one platform that helps businesses listen, understand, and engage with customers so that you can ultimately improve the customer experience. I want to start off with a story and kind of talk about like where we've been as a company and what GatherUp has provided, and then move into like where we're going and why this feature and why this feature set was built. So the best way I like to talk about this is just as a business. Say you're a coffee shop, right? And you're using GatherUp or some other reputation management solution, but hopefully it's GatherUp. We've helped you ask for reviews and act on feedback, right? You're collecting that feedback, you're getting Google reviews, you get some data, you can probably take some action. Hopefully you're using tagging and our smart insights report. You know, you've worked hard to build this online presence. You're this coffee shop, you've got Google posts using social sharing, you've got reviews, Q&A, things like that. All of that, you know, you've worked really hard to build. You can even post reviews on your website, and that's going to hopefully bring in new customers, people who visit your site or, you know, go to Google and then find you that way and see these great reviews. But this is a somewhat linear journey. You know, you become a customer, feedback is sent, you understand that feedback, you might take some action internally, and then you're going to use that review in your marketing. Hopefully get new customers. But what about those existing customers that left you feedback already? So something was missing. You know, we couldn't use that feedback as a way to directly communicate with customers about their interests. You know, there was something missing as it pertains to like rewarding customers or building loyalty among them. And you were kind of hoping that, hey, they left us good feedback. I just hope they come back, right? Like, but hope itself is not a strategy, especially not in business strategy. So we thought, like, what if you could engage those loyal customers, those happy customers, in a way that you're more likely to be seen? What if you could show that appreciation to them and get them to come back? You know, they like something about you, but what if you could like give them offers about that something? And then in doing so, gain more feedback, deliver more insights to your business so you can just continue that cycle. And we felt that SMS marketing was the way. It's a new channel that helps build customer loyalty. You can create these super powerful marketing lists of subscribers, and it allows you to engage these customers that will increase retention. And then it's more of a personal touch, right? Everyone has a phone. Most everyone has a phone. A lot of people check their phones. But it is still a somewhat personal connection that you're making with them. So what we created was, instead of this linear journey, we've created more of a loop, what we call our customer loyalty loop. And this starts with listening to those customers, gathering the feedback and reviews, understanding it at scale. You know, we've done a lot of that, but we're enhancing it with more AI technology. And the piece that we were missing was this engagement piece. So how do you engage with them to get them to come back? Engaging them, yeah, you can respond to reviews, and that's great, but that's not really getting them back in the door necessarily. It's great for your reputation and it's super important to do. But we were trying to think, like, how do we get them to come back? How do you get those customers who are happy? How do you get them to come back and keep coming back and keep engaging with them through multiple touch points? And so that's where this feature came from, this idea of SMS campaigns. And so that kind of sets the stage. So I hope you understand where we were and why this is going to be unique and different. So we're going to talk about what this is now. So for those that have been in the product, you might have seen it. Campaigns is an SMS marketing feature built to help you drive sales through customer loyalty and using that customer feedback that you're already collecting to create compliant SMS opt-in lists. SMS marketing is like an email. You can use it similarly, but they actually get opened. Messages can be sent based on feedback, right? Like you can create a list of people who mention certain products or services that you offer. It helps you engage with your audience on that personal level, and it's an exclusive channel, right? There's a lot of red tape involved with text messaging. And so we'll talk more about that as well. It's all about the opt-in. A big part of why we felt we could build this right was because of the idea that opt-in is important and getting consent is a must. You have to ask for a consent, written consent, to enroll customers into SMS marketing. You can be, there's a lot of fines and trouble you can get into if you don't do this right. And so we took a lot of precautions. We spent a lot of time working on this component of how to get that opt-in correctly, how to make sure that you can't even do it in our system the wrong way. So part of that opt-in and the way we approached it was, who's most likely to opt in to your business text message, right? And that's happy customers who love you. And what's great about this is that using GatherUp who loves you and who's happiest. We've been collecting feedback for businesses for over 10 years now. And so, when you want to look at people who left you a 9 or 10 net promoter score, or people who left you a 5-star review, we have that data. And those are people more likely to opt in than if you just ask all your customers, right? So that's kind of the tie here of feedback reputation management into an SMS marketing tool. It's the ability to get that opt-in quickly and from the right people. We know who loves you and why. This comes down to a term called zero-party data, which, if you've been in digital marketing, you know, like third-party cookies and third-party data is becoming harder to get. It's less accurate. So what people really want is this first-party data that you collect. But what's even better is what's called zero-party data, things that people willingly give you. It's not just like, hey, you pulled the information from your website or your GA or whatever. This is people actually gave you this information. So that's what, a lot of the feedback and review data is zero-party. So we collect a lot of that. And that's extremely valuable as you move into, this new era of a cookieless world. Now we're going to talk about the benefits of SMS marketing. So, how do you generate that loyalty and customer retention? And then those agencies who are on the call, this is also another revenue stream for you. It's a way for you to expand your offerings and provide another growth potential for your agency. So some of the key pain points that this is addressing, decreasing engagement, declining ROI on channels like social, email, paid search, things like that. That customer loyalty piece, this is beyond, getting new customers, because as most of us know, it's easier to keep customers than it is to go get new ones. And so the idea here is that you're increasing the number of visits they come. It's increasing their, maybe their basket size or the amount of purchases they make or things like that. So just getting them from going, maybe once a month to your store to 2 or 3 times, that's a big increase, and you don't have to work as hard to get that customer. The other piece of SMS marketing is that there's really, minimal time or financial investment, very limited creative needed, if any. And then, like I mentioned earlier, increased loyalty, added revenue for agencies. So this is just information on SMS and email. If you're using an email list, MailChimp, Constant Contact, and you're sending out a list or sending out emails to customers, you might get, a 20 to 25% open rate on that, and maybe a 3% click-through rate, which we would all agree is pretty good in email. But SMS is so much higher, right? Like very few messages go unread. So people at a minimum will see it. And then not to mention that the click rates of SMS messages are much higher as well. And part of that is kind of what we've talked about already, where it's more exclusive. People have opted in. They have literally double opted in. They've said, not only, yeah, you can send me a text, but yes, I want to receive those messages from you. And we're seeing a trend right now in the market as well around consumer preferences. 81% of consumers had opened an SMS from a business, not just a friend, obviously, but from a business. And over 60% made a purchase by clicking a link in that text in the last 3 months. So these are things that consumers are getting more on board with. They're signing up. And the marketers agree with this. Marketers are saying it's helped them drive more revenue. They're definitely seeing an impact on re-engagement and retention. And almost 2/3 or over 2/3 have increased their SMS marketing budgets this year. So consumers are doing it, marketers are following, seeing the ROI on it. And so, again, this is just a great avenue if you can get into it and start using this. This goes back to, again, businesses they love. 90% of consumers want to sign up from texts from businesses they love. And we know through GatherUp who loves you and who doesn't. So consumers are opting into at least one brand message. I've seen things where, up to 40% have at least 5, but no more than like 12 or 13. So there is like a limit, right? Like people don't want to be constantly messaged through text from all the businesses but they're going to select a few. And so it's important that you're one of those few that they opt in to get messages from, especially early on in the process before it gets saturated. And then the exclusivity of it, right? Like there are, as I mentioned, lots of rules. The TCPA is the big one around text messaging and who can text you. So customers are picky about who gets their phone number. They only want to opt in if they truly want to hear from you. And spam is not tolerated. Email, there are some rules and stuff, but they can spam, but it's not as stringent as text. So there is an exclusivity where if you opt in, you are saying, yes, I definitely want to get that. Otherwise, you can't send them anything. So there is an exclusivity to this as well, which is why it's important to get into that inbox on their phone and their text message quickly. And then the last point on this is really that it's easier than creating ads. You don't need you don't need a creative team. You don't need a huge budget for things like this. You can just simply write a text, carry something over, use something that, you have maybe in other places, but this might be exclusive to text message subscribers. We do have the ability to include emojis and images and link shortener within our campaigns feature. So it's really as simple as like writing a text message. And we'll walk through exactly what that looks like here in a minute, but very easy, very quick to create these. I wanted to highlight a couple use cases because as we were interviewing people and talking about this feature and before we were going to launch, there were some questions on like, oh, how would I use it? And so I have a couple examples here of different use cases for different industries. But like, for instance, an HVAC dealer might say, we have a customer list of every customer whose AC unit we know is older than 7 years, and you can run an offer to them saying like, hey, if you install by the end of the month, we'll give you $500 off your new AC unit or something to that effect. A local retailer, you can send a request for people to opt in, and once they do, maybe you thank them by giving them $10 off their next purchase. You can use promo codes, links, like I said. Even healthcare, that one's a little tricky, right? Like a lot of HIPAA information there, and people worried about that. But one thing that we can use in this example would be to send out just updates on hours or information, flu shots available, because you're not really calling anybody out specifically and saying that they have a certain condition or you treated them or anything like that. You're just saying, hey, we have flu shots available. So set up an appointment, click this link. Very, very simple, but a couple different use cases there. George, I see you got a question. So I'm going to answer that one now because I'm going to transition over to the product. George asks, how do you get the phone numbers in the first place to send text messages? Good question. It's all about collecting that like you would any other customer information. And there are there is some language you're going to want to use as you collect that phone number. It could be at point of sale. It could be on a form on your website where you ask them to sign up, things like that. But you should include some language, a disclaimer around like, hey, we're going to text you, and so they know that that's going to happen. The difference is with email, once you have that, you can email them, no problem. With text messaging, once you have that phone number added, you still need to get that double opt-in, which is when we would send a campaign that would say, please reply Y to subscribe. And I'll show you what that looks like. But collecting phone numbers, similar language, similar disclaimers. We actually have a blog post on our website about that. So I can link to that too if you want to see that. All right, I'm going to hop over here. Hopefully everyone can still see my screen. So let's talk about campaigns. What you see immediately from your dashboard, and if you're an agency, you'll just have to click into a client and then you'll be at this screen. But you'll see on the left-hand side, we have these 3 features all marked in beta. So these are the new features. I'm going to start with contacts. Sorry. Contacts is really, think of it kind of like a customer list, but these are customers that you want to send messages to. So for instance, if you have people in your customer activity already, they might be included in your list in your contacts here. If you have a phone number, you can add contacts manually at any time. This is like a one-to-one right now. So you have a big list here. One thing I'll point out is if you click into one of these people, you see a little profile on the right-hand side now. This is really meant to make for an easier experience as you're here and looking at customers. So you'll see their name, email, phone, and then their opt-in status. So you'll see things here like opted in, never asked, no, if they responded that they don't want to be contacted. So you'll know their status here and then the location to which they belong. So for your multi-location businesses, we want to make sure that the messages that you're sending out go to the appropriate customers by location, because you don't want to be sending people a message related to something in Minneapolis, but you're actually in Chicago, right? Like that doesn't make sense. So, so we do have that assigned by location. Down below, you'll see which lists they are members of. So you can have people attached to a list, and you'll see that there as well. The activity would be things around review requests sent, or maybe that you sent them an SMS campaign already. So there are things in activity that this is just dummy data, so you won't see anything here. But as you go, you will see activity in there, especially if they've been a customer and left you a review request or left you a review. Pretty easy to delete these contacts, add them to a list, right? So I can just check them and then do that. We are working on ways to like make this a little bit easier and seamless. So, welcome your feedback on that. I'm going to say this a couple times, but just make sure you click send feedback and let us know what you think. Lists is basically how groups of customers that you want to send messages to. So you can create a new list real easily, name your list, test campaign, right? Assign it to a location. I'm going to assign it to Joey Nova's Pizzeria. Boom, I have a test campaign. I have 0 members. I could go back and add people to that list if I wanted to. And one of the things we just released today is this signed up for texts. So if you can't see, I'll zoom in a little bit. These contacts have said yes to receiving your SMS campaigns. You can send them text promotions. So you'll know at all times how many people have opted in to receive your text messages. So this will be a running counter. And as you ask more people, they'll get added to this and this number will go up. So we're working on a couple other pre-built lists, and I'll talk about those in a few minutes here. So contacts can be added to lists, and then lists can be added to campaigns. So I'm going to hop over to our campaign section now. And what you'll see here is these are a bunch of other campaigns I've previously sent. We have some metrics involved here with number sent, number delivered, clicked, and opted out. I'm going to show you this one. I have this drafted up. So I have a campaign here. Now, if you go to new campaign, you're going to see the same screen. So I'm going to go back, and if I go to new campaign, same thing, right? So you can edit them later. You can finish it later, save as a draft. And these are all going to be the same screens. So I had named this 25 off order 9/26/23. I'm going to do a spreadsheet upload. Let's see here. Got my data. Oh, sorry. Hang with me for a sec. All right. So I got my spreadsheet. If you were wondering about how, what the format is, we do have a downloadable template for column matching if you do want to do that. Then I assign it to a location. So I'm going to go Joey Nova's Pizzeria, nice little spot by my house. Then you're going to column match. So we have first name, last name, and phone number. You could have email here if you want to. You don't have to, but it is an option if you have email, an email column. Now you see this screen here that's ready to import. So what I'm looking at is 21 new contacts who will receive a request to opt in. So I don't have opt-in permissions from these people yet. They haven't consented. So I'm going to first send them a campaign that says, do you want to opt in to receive these? One contact belongs to a different location, so that one's not going to be added in this import. And if you wanted to see more details on it, you could see all the numbers and the people who are on that list. So, oh, didn't work. Let's try it again. All right. So Joey Novas, okay. Last name, column match, and next. Okay, that looks good. Finish import. Now I'll see that same message here. 0 people who have opted in, so they won't receive the campaign immediately. 21 people could receive the campaign, but they have to opt in first. So again, we don't let you send anything out to people unless you have written consent to do so. Now we're going to scroll down to the confirm permissions. So confirm permissions, essentially, this is the opt-in confirmation language that you see currently in GatherUp. So anytime you upload a list of customers, this is the same information. This was the question George had about the numbers. You still have to have some permission or disclaimer that you will text message or email these people when you have a list and you're collecting that data. The double opt-in is coming through our campaign. So here's the written consent. We talked through what that means. If you have written consent, this campaign will be sent right away. If you don't, we'll ask for written consent. If they respond no, they won't be sent the campaign. So this Learn More screen shows you what that written consent message looks like. So this message is going to say, thank you for your interest in Joey Novas Pizzeria. Reply Y to subscribe to recurring automated promotional messages from us. Reply stop to unsubscribe. So that's the process that they're going to go through. Again, if they haven't opted in, they will see that first. And then you can schedule. So I can either schedule it for a later time if I want to do that, or I can send it right away. The other thing I would make sure everyone does the first time is send yourself a test. You can send a test at the top, put in your phone number, send a test just to make sure it's going to look the way you want it to. But I think we're all good. I'm going to send this. It's going to go out to 21 recipients. These people were on my import. We do have some limits, which I'll talk about later as well. But I'm ready to send. So send. Pretty simple. And we have some lovely confetti. So you'll see this. This is the campaign I just sent. We're processing. In a couple of minutes, we should see this opt-in numbers and things like that. But what I want to show you now is when I go back to my contacts and lists, that list that I just uploaded now has its own list here. So you can upload into a campaign and it'll create a list for you. So these are the people that were on my list. They were assigned to this location. I can click into them and see things like, okay, yep, they're on that list. So we're good there. That creates that list for you. I now have 3 people. You can see that that's changed. It was just 1. I now have 3 people who have opted in to my to receive text messages from me. Here are those additional 2 people when I click the campaign that's been sent. So you'll note that we had 21 recipients total. 2 have been sent and delivered the campaign. That means that 2 of those people opted in to get this message. And now we have 3. So that's campaigns. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. The process of setting one up is fairly easy. I hope the biggest takeaway you have is the compliance and the opt-in factor and how we're managing that. It's very important that we are compliant and that you are compliant when you send these messages. So if you're collecting phone numbers and emails, I would highly recommend talk to either your lawyer or your attorney for your business. Make sure you get that disclaimer on there that says, we're gonna by submitting this information, you give us the right to reach out to you. For text message campaigns, you still need to get that double opt-in, that reply Y on that campaign. The last thing that's in here, the other new piece is the conversations piece. And you'll see in conversations, it's really meant to be an inbox, but right now, it's meant to capture anybody responding to your campaign. So if you sent a text message campaign and we didn't have this and somebody responded to your text, you wouldn't really know, or you wouldn't have any way to identify that. So what this is currently is a way to capture anybody responding to your campaign. There are plans to build this out further and provide more inputs into conversations, so it's a more robust customer conversation tool. But as of today, that's where it stands, is it's capturing anybody responding to your text. So you can see Jackie got my campaign right here. Stop in today and mention this special, and she said thank you. And I could respond to her as well. You're welcome. Hope to see you at the pizzeria soon. And we have emojis, and we are happy. So send SMS. Nick did too, loves the pizza. Does that special include alcohol? No. The 25% off is just on food. Thanks for asking. So we're really just trying to make it easier for you to communicate with customers, reach out to those that are happy and love you, get their opt-in, build this important golden list of subscribers that you can connect with regularly, and do it easily and efficiently within GatherUp. So you can see now I have 2 opted out. So 2 of those 21 people actually clicked no or stop. And so they opted out. So you can see that this updates really regularly, quickly, and we are making some iterations on this page as well. But that's where it is. So it's works great. I encourage you all to test it out, and then don't forget to send us feedback. All 3 of those screens have a send feedback button at the top, and we'd love to hear what you have to say about it. So let's see. Somebody asked, do we recommend to send texts requesting reviews? Not through this. I would recommend you use the SMS requests in the normal account, the way you normally would. So you go to your business dashboard, and pick a location, go to requests and SMS requests, and set this up. So not a replacement for requesting reviews. I would still do that the way you normally do. This is more about marketing, and thus there is a little bit nuance and difference with how we're approaching it. But reviews still go through the same process. Campaigns, marketing messages, things you want your customers to know about, send it through the campaigns feature. All right, so let's go back here. There's a couple other things I wanted to show you that aren't available in the product. Let's go from, sorry, hang tight 1 second. Oh, Google Slides always gets me. All right, sorry. So pre-built lists. These are these fast follows, the things that we're already working on. I showed you this signed up for text. That's ready now, as you saw. So that is available. You'll see how many people have signed up for your text messages. What we're working on next is ready to sign up. So this is a list of people who love your business, have phone numbers in the system in GatherUp, but they haven't opted in yet. So that's a great list to start building too, as you acquire, make sure you're asking for phone numbers, but you'll know, okay, we know these people are happy and we have their phone number. We should really ask them to subscribe to our SMS list. And then the other one that we're looking at building out in the next few weeks is a need phone numbers. So this is a list of people who love you. They gave you a great rating, but you don't have a phone number yet. And so it'd be a great idea to get their phone number and then request that they opt in to receive text messages from you. So those are some pre-built lists that we're working on right now. Again, it all ties to that feedback. We know they're happy. We know they love your business. They may or may not have a phone number in the system, but one way or another, it'd be a great idea to get them on your text list. And then the other one is this one's really exciting. This one should be ready this week, but it's a piggyback on your review request. And this is really meant to kind of have an ongoing opt-in list that you're growing. So what it does is when customers leave you feedback, if they leave you a 5-star review or a 10 on your net promoter score, it's going to wait a day or two and then text them and say, hey, got your, we'd love for you to sign up, subscribe, reply yes, or reply stop to unsubscribe. So we're kind of making this as an ongoing process that will let you continually grow your opt-in list without any added work. Again, this was an automated component. And so what this looks like, you'll have a campaign settings feature down below in settings where you can toggle this on and say, yep, I want to do this automation. When customers leave you a strong review and you have their phone number, you can text them and ask right at that, a couple days after and say, hey, sign up for our text messages. So those are two things that we're working on in the short term. Again, would love your feedback on other things that you can think of. Let's see. So a couple things to note for you. This is in beta. If I didn't mention that, this is a beta right now. So we're iterating quickly. We're listening to a lot of feedback. But because it's in beta, we have some limitations. Trials can send up to 50 opt-in and 50 campaign messages total while on trial. Anything over that will not go out. So we'll stop at 50. Active accounts can send up to 5,000 total campaign messages per account per day. Seems like that's plenty. If there was some reason that that's not enough for your business, feel free to reach out to support@gatherup.com. Oh, and then our CSV upload has a max right now of 1,001 rows. So you have a header and then you have 1,000 rows of data. So just keep that in mind as you're uploading data into the CSV uploader in campaigns. Couple things on resources. So our knowledge base articles are updated. We're updating those as things change. So as new elements within the feature are updated or new things come out, like those pre-built lists, we're updating that information. Our campaigns related blog content is really helpful, especially for those that have questions around opt-ins and building subscriber lists and what kind of messages to use. We even have some very vertical specific content around healthcare and retail and restaurants and things like that. So check that out. And then we do have a SMS campaigns video on our YouTube channel. So if you want to share that with anybody internally at your business or are interested in seeing that, you can check that out on our YouTube channel as well. So. And then I know it's going to come up. It already has with a few other folks, but pricing. So right now, because it's in beta, there's no change to your price. The price is going to stay what it is for now. If you need, like I mentioned, any additional messages, though, you're hitting those limits, let us know, and we'll talk about it at support@gatherup.com. We're open to feedback on pricing models. We know there's a lot of different things that can go into this. So we want to hear maybe, especially those who are adopting this and using this feature regularly, what kind of value do you get out of it? And what is that worth to you? Because we are really interested in hearing what you have to say about this as well. We're working on pricing though internally. So we are, spending a lot of time in Q4 with this. Just know that any decisions that are made, we will give you plenty of notice before anything changes. So right now, free to use, no change in your price. Get in there, test it out, see what you like, what you don't. We want to help build it so that it works for you. And then as things progress through Q4, we'll communicate any changes that come. I mentioned this a couple times, but we do need your input. Send feedback through that application, the send feedback button in the application. You can email your GatherUp contacts, or it could be a sales rep, it could be a CS rep, somebody else. And by all means, you can always reach out to me as well. My information's on this on the end of the slide as well. So steve.hartman@bytraject.com. So if you have any questions on campaigns, want to know about how to use it, having trouble with something, maybe you think you found a bug, let us know. We're here to help. We want to make this work for you. And we want to make this a really successful feature that can help bring more value to your business or your agency. And so with that, anybody have any other questions? I haven't seen a ton come through, but happy to take your questions. I do see a question here on expand the list of CRM integrations we currently have. Vin Solutions. I'm not familiar with that one, but the best thing to do would be to put through a support@gatherup.com, email them and say you have feedback on integrations or a product feedback and let them know. I can take that one down too and include it in our list, but we don't have any plans right now on bin solutions. As you can tell, our dev team and product team have been pretty busy with building this out. The campaigns feature conversations, contacts, lists, but happy to collect more feedback on integrations that you guys feel are important. So, all right, no other questions. Great. I hope you all get in the product, use it, try it out, test it. Feel free to reach out to me or anybody else, and we will make sure to take that feedback and continue to iterate on this, because we really do feel like this is a game-changing feature for not only for us, but for all of you and our customers and clients and agencies. So, one question: can this product connect to Nimble CRM? I'm not sure, Glenn. I would check Zapier. I'm not familiar with Nimble as well, but if you want to check Zapier, we do connect to Zapier. Sometimes that's the easiest way to do it. Or Google Sheets we do integrate with. So if Nimble can integrate with Google Sheets, you can create kind of a pass-through through Google Sheets as well. That's another good way to do it. But with that, I'll let you all go. Short and sweet today, but for those agencies, we do have an agency webinar on Thursday of this week, same time. That'll be more around pricing and selling this new feature. But if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for joining. Webinar slides and recording will be sent out as well, probably tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Make sure you get in there. Check out that SMS marketing campaign feature. We're excited to launch it and to get it in your hands. Have a great day, everybody.